Today's political discourse is very polarized. For example, according to the Pew Research Center, the overall share of Americans who express consistently conservative or consistently liberal opinions has doubled from the past 2 decades, 10% to 21%. In addition to that, around 17% of Republicans and Democrats have a very unfavorable view of the other party. Also, around 25 to 30% of Americans wouldn't marry someone outside their political party. Sadly, it looks like these trends of polarization isn't going away anytime soon. You might be asking yourself, how did we get this way exactly? Well, there are 2 main reasons why politics in general has become way more polarized. The first reason why is social media, more specifically how people consume news on social media. Let me ask you a question. Where do you get most of your news from? Facebook? YouTube? Are most of the articles you read on your Facebook feed posts from your friends or pages that you already liked? Are most of the videos that you watched on YouTube either from subscriptions or recommendation lists? And how about Twitter or Reddit? You basically see only the sites you follow, or only the pages or forums you follow. So if you don't follow an intellectually diverse amount of news outlets or media figures, you're going to get a narrow view of the world, an echo chamber. And depending on who you're following, you could be getting a total misrepresentation of the other side. Ergo, that's where the polarization comes from. It comes from people immersing themselves in politically uniform news on the internet. If you get your news from late-night shows like Samantha Bee, for example, that's certainly going to cloud your judgment of Trump, Brexit, or Putin, or so on. Hence, you can't expect Samantha Bee fans to relate with Rebel Media fans. These are 2 different fan bases. The second reason why there's political polarization is obvious, but still no less serious. Identity politics. If you don't know, identity politics is politics that applies to groupthings. It's politics advocating for the collective interests of groups rather than the nation as a whole or individuals. And as you can imagine, this ideology is inherently divisive because you can't really leave your group identity. And there are certain group identities that are said to be horribly oppressed, while other group identities are said to be the oppressors. The pinning of different races or sexes against each other isn't a healthy way to run a society. Of course, in that environment, you're going to get truly unprecedented political polarization very similar to the ones we see today. The right has their own identity politics, the alt-right white nationalists. The left's characterization of women and minority groups, though, as victims of the cisgendered white male patriarchy has succeeded among the wider society through academia and the mainstream media. The left created a progressive stack. At the very top is white men, the enemy. At the very bottom is disabled black lesbians. With the left attacking the right on racial grounds, it isn't any wonder then why racial identitarians on the right would be getting more popular in recent times. The solution to the first main reason why there's political polarization is to watch as much news media content for as many different political angles as you can. The solution to the second main reason is more complex. In order for there to be less political polarization, identitarians have to realize that humans are individuals. Yes, there are group trends and habits. If you go through life trying to find patterns, you're bound to find patterns in humans too. But more so than group collectives, humans are individuals, and the job of the nation state is to uplift the individual, to provide as much protection and liberty to the individual of that nation, no matter who they are, or no matter what group they are, or no matter what group preference might be, or what group preference identitarians might think they might be. By uplifting individuals, you are in turn uplifting the collective without leaving anyone behind, while at the same time respecting the interests of the individual. The greatest evil is judging a person not based on their own quality or merits as a person, but instead judging them based on their group characteristics. So calling all men rapists because some men rape, or suggesting that all white males are part of some uber patriarchy because some are wealthy, that needs to go if we're ever going to get past political polarization within America and come to consensus and mutual understanding. If we don't do that, if the left, for example, ignores this plea and continues pushing the progressive stack and racial politics in the name of black people or whatever, trust me, there's going to be more needless violence and misdirected hatred. Americans don't need more of that. I'm Fayza from the Rebel.Media. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to the Rebel.Media.